Alright guys, welcome back. I'm sitting here in Scottsdale and I decided that I should give you guys a tour of my office, the fly deck. The first thing you're looking at is my speed right here, and these are my speed tapes. This is the speed that the FMS told us we need to fly for takeoff based on the aircraft weight. This is saying that I am on FMS or Flight Management System 2. This is the altitude indicator, and this is where we set the altitude given to us by air traffic controller. This is our altimeter setting. We get this by listening to the airport weather advisory. And this is our rate of climb here. If I'm climbing 500 feet a minute, 1500 feet a minute, or descending 500, 1500, or 2000 feet a minute, it will show up here. This is our heading indicator. Obviously, you have all the magnetic compass headings here. This is called a multifunction display simply because I can do a ton of stuff with this one screen. If I hit the return button, I will get weather here. I'm going to turn my weather on really quick. This is weather. If I hit this button right here, I get terrain. What you're looking at is my terrain, and if I turn the terrain off and I turn the weather back off and change my zoom out a bit, you should be able to see traffic. You see that plus 02 right there, and it's moving. That's my traffic indicator because I have the traffic selector button selected. Coming down here, this is our engine instrument display. This aircraft have three engines. The first one is my N1 or fan speed. The second one is my ITT or inlet turbine temperature, and the FFPPH is fuel flow pounds per hour, basically saying how much the aircraft is burning. This one here is our oil gauge. We have oil temperature and oil pressure, one per an engine. Speaking of weight, this is the aircraft total weight as it sits right now, 35,400 pounds. The fuel quantity we have on board is 9,000, and this is telling me that my main cabin door is open. If I want to see what or the amount of fuel I have on board, I hit my fuel button here and it shows me the fuel quantity in pounds for each tank. On this aircraft, we have three groups of fuel tanks. This is the center one, obviously the right one, and the left one. Go back to my engine. Go back to my engine page. Okay, down here, this is where we input our flight plan. I'm sitting in Scottsdale, so it's saying that I'm taking off from runway 21 in Scottsdale, SDL. Okay, it's telling me I'm going to need to fly heading 335 or as assigned. The 335 comes from the departure ATC or air traffic control has given us. Here in Scottsdale this morning, they have given us the Mesa 7 departure raster transition. Okay, this is what this departure looks like. And if you look at Scottsdale specifically, Scottsdale here, we look at runway 21. It says climbing right turn heading 335 or as assigned by ATC. Hence this 335 here in the box, and as assigned by ATC. The speed I just showed you guys of this speed I set here of 207, it's because on the Mesa 7 departure out of Scottsdale, there is a speed restriction. It says Scottsdale Runway 21, do not exceed 210 knots until established on assigned heading. That assigned heading would be 335 right here. Then if you go, when I hit the next button, it gives me the additional fix on that departure until I get to raster transition. Then I continue my flight plan, how I filed it. And that's Betty, Kino, Rizmi, Beefy, Raps, Mimi, Sharp, Lucky, Kathy, or as assigned. Fly 230 or as assigned. Okay, so this is my flight plan. It's already in the box. Remember, I showed you guys the speed here, and I said it's a result of the weight of the aircraft. Well, how do I get that weight? Simple. You come down here, you hit this performance button right here. Performance, then you hit performance in it right here. You go here, it tells you the aircraft type. Then you go next. Here it gives you my cruise speed. You go next, next, and here I put in my altitude, my final altitude. Today it's flight level 380. The wind, or the average wind at that altitude, is 296 through at 30 knots. Go next, and here is the basic operating weight of the aircraft. We have 9,000 pounds of fuel on board. We have cargo of 100. We have 6 passengers on board. Based on this, the aircraft has calculated we have a gross weight of 35,326, which is pretty close to what's right up there. Okay. This is our radio. Oh, this ATC squawk number here of 1671. This is specific to our flight on this day. This is how ATC identifies us. It will give ATC our altitude and speed and our position in relation to other aircraft. This is a very important number for us to get right. And this one is also important. This TARA. TA means traffic advisory. RA means resolution advisory. This system will alert us if there's any traffic close to us, and it will tell us whether to climb or descend. So it's a very important system. As I've said, this aircraft have 3 engines. So we have 3 fire extinguishing buttons or switches, 1 for an engine, and we have 1 for the APU and 1 for the if there's a fire in the baggage compartment. And this is in case everything on the plane fails. We still have manual instruments that we can use, or back in the old days we call them steam gauges. This is the artificial horizon. This is your altimeter that gives you your altitude, and this is your speed. And I think basically that's it. This is our air conditioning system here. This is our pressurization system here. Okay, this tells us if the cabin is climbing or if the cabin is descending. It tells us what's the pressure inside of the cabin in inches. What else do we have here? Oh, right. Over here, we have our oxygen mask. This is a quick dawning mask in the event of rapid decompression, or if there is fire or smoke in the cabin. We end up using this. And this is our oxygen here. This gauge here tells us how much oxygen we have on board. Today, we have close to 1,800 pounds on board, which is pretty good. Right. And I think that's it for this one. As always, I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions on anything I said, please let me know. Leave it in the comment below. One more thing. You see this one right here? This is our temperature right here. ISA is very, very important because it affects the performance of the aircraft. Then you have the outside air temperature. All right, I think that's it. And of course, we have our I'm just gonna call it our warning panel display right here.